Hi, I'm Brian King, and this is Marriage Monday. We're back into our series on 7 love habits, and today I'm going to talk about number 3, maintaining and keeping yourself happy through self-care. Now, this is typically and generally more of an issue for women. They are less likely to get self-care. Men generally don't have a problem with finding time for self-care. They just do it because it comes natural. For women, it's a little bit harder because they have different responsibilities, different needs in that area, and they are more likely to not get enough self-care. Now, it may sound like, well, we'll just tell them to get self-care. Well, it doesn't work that way. It's not that easy. Dr. John Gray had an interesting comment. He's the guy that wrote the Mars and Venus series of books. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Very interesting reads if you're interested in doing a little marriage research. But one of the comments he made was that a man can't make a woman happy. He didn't stop there. He said he can only make her happier. There is a portion and a piece of self-care that only the individual can do. And like I said, men tend to make time, find time, steal time, however it works, they get it done, more likely. I'm going to talk a little bit at the end about some things if you're not getting enough self-care that you could work with. But I'm going to focus mainly on helping your spouse get the self-care she needs, so that you don't have to make her happy, you only have to make her happier. And I don't know about you, but I have a very strong desire to make my wife happy. I want her to be happy. So basically, my job, the thing I need to do, is to make self-care convenient for her, make it accessible for her, make it repeatable so that she can get it on a regular basis. Why? Because she is more likely to put it off, to put it aside, to put herself last, much more likely, and it's much more likely to be a problem because when women don't have enough self-care, they tend to be a little grouchy. They tend to be short and snappy and not as much fun to be around. And that is kind of going against what our desire is for them to be. We want them to be happy. So we have to make it convenient, accessible, and repeatable. So what exactly is self-care? It sounds simple. Why? She just needs to take care of herself. No, it's much more complex than that. Self-care for women is a whole bunch of things. Like, one, she needs she time. Does she have time where she can just be by herself to listen to some music, have a cup of tea without having somebody screaming in her ear, time to read a book? So that's kind of like a she time issue. And then there's physical self-care. That's what most people think about. You know, is she getting out and having time to walk or take a swim or a hike or a bike ride, or to do something she really enjoys that's physical? Maybe she does yoga or dancing. That's physical self-care. And then there's social self-care. I cannot meet all the social needs of my wife. There are times when I say, you really need to talk to a girlfriend, or you need to call your sister, or go have lunch with somebody or a friend. And it meets a need for her. She has a much deeper social need, or need to be social in general. I mean, everybody's different. I don't want to categorize anybody, but in general, she needs more social self-care than you can provide. So make sure that she has that kind of built into her schedule, that she's not just, stuck in the house with the kids, or just going to work and then coming home. Make sure she's got some social self-care. There's also a need for creative self-care. Does she have time for art or music or crafts or anything that she finds interesting and that's creative? Maybe she writes, maybe she sews, quilts, or does something else. I mean, maybe she builds things or does woodworking. I'm not trying to be sexist here. Whatever it is that she enjoys doing that's creative. I mean, maybe she does landscaping and foundation work and gardening. Who knows? It doesn't have to be anything traditional, but it needs to be something where she can be creative. It's called creative self-care. Is she get a chance to do anything like that? There's also spiritual self-care. Uh, Depending on what your faith is or what you are into, there's just needs there. I mean, it may be listening to motivational speakers. It may be doing meditation or anything. It could be anything. Fill in the blank. Maybe she needs, more time to do things at church, or maybe she needs to work for a charity or something like that. Just something so that she can get some spiritual self-care. And then there's also practical self-care. You know, maybe she would enjoy, having time to fix a problem or to clean something or to organize something. And I'm not talking about just like the regular cleaning chores. I'm talking about, beautifying an area. You know, I know lots of times my wife just needs to spend a Saturday morning organizing her closet, and it makes her feel better. It makes her happy because she knows things are organized. She knows where things are. Everybody's different, but they've got to have something like that, just the practical things. Maybe fixing a little spot to sit outside and arranging something, arranging the furniture. It doesn't matter. The question is, does she have time to do that? Well, how do you give her time to do things like that, to meet her she time needs, her physical self-care needs, her social self-care needs, her creative self-care needs, her spiritual self-care needs, and her practical self-care needs? Well, you've got to be attentive to her needs, and you've got to be willing to take some of your time and make sure that she has the opportunity and the ability to go do some of those things. And you need to encourage her to do those things. Why? Because it will make her happy. And once she's happier, then she comes back and you can make her happier. It's really quite interesting because I've noticed over the years when my wife gets stressed and really just needs a break, when I make it so that she has a break, like I say, hey, I'm going to wash the dishes. You look like you need a walk. Go take a walk. Enjoy it. Take the dog, or don't take the dog if you'd rather be alone. It doesn't matter. It's more of I'm giving up something so you can have that time. Hey, I'll put the kids to bed. You go do something you want to do. Maybe it's, get a babysitter so that you can both go out, or get a babysitter so you can go out with your sister, or whatever it takes. If things are really, really crazy, maybe you need to hire a housekeeper so it frees up some of her time, or maybe you need a nanny or a cook. Who knows? I mean, if you've got the money for it, go for it. Whatever it takes so that she has time to make herself happy, so that when she comes to you, you've just got to make her happier. It's really quite interesting how that works together, because when you make sure she's got that time, you will see a dramatic change in her, and it will make it easier for you to fulfill your need of being able to make her happy, because you can't do it directly, so you kind of have to do it indirectly by making sure, kind of evaluate where she's at, and then make sure she gets what she needs so that she can be in a position where you can make her happier. And I said I was going to end this by talking a little bit about what you can do for your self-care. Evaluate yourself. Take the time to, sit down and think, am I getting some he time? You probably are. Physical self-care, that's one that's kind of easy to let go. Are you hitting the gym? Are you taking a long walk? Are you getting a little cardio, a little aerobic exercise? If you're not, and you have your doctor's permission, go for it. Do something. Get out and move. Do some gardening. Do some yard work. Whatever it is, meet that physical need. We don't have as deep of a social self-care need as women, but we do need some. Call a friend you haven't talked to in a while. Chat with them on the phone or meet them for coffee or something. Creative self-care. If you've, got time, and you're interested, do music or work on something that is exciting to you, art, or if you paint, that's fine, get into it. Just make some time for it if you haven't already. Same with the practical self-care. I know I usually take a few hours on Saturday to just reorganize my shop. If it's been a busy week, reorganize my work areas, just kind of clean up, and it feels good. I make a trip to the recycle area and just get everything normal. It makes me feel good about where I'm at. I've got things under control. And it's self-care. You might think it's a waste of time, but it's not. It's self-care, getting organized. So there's a few tips. Like I said, mostly the need usually comes back to making sure that you've freed up enough time for your wife to get what she needs, because she's much more likely to sacrifice that for you and for the kids, and to just, not get what she needs. So evaluate, kind of look at where she's at, look at where you're at, and make a plan. Put some of these things on the calendar. Decide that, okay, we're gonna do something together, or we're gonna do some, if it's been a long time since you've had a date, or if it's been a long time since you've even had a vacation. I know there were some years when we didn't really do a lot for vacations because the money was so tight. Doesn't have to be expensive, but evaluate where you're at in the whole self-care area. Because why shouldn't you be happy? You're married to a beautiful woman. You've got a great life. You've got great kids. Why not enjoy it? One of the best ways is through self-care. So that's it for today's Marriage Monday. Take care of yourself. Take care of your wife. Give her time to be happy, so that you just have to make her happier, and then enjoy making her happier. See you next time. Thanks for listening.